whole public thinks that, oh, if you're a broker, you make the most money. No one likes you. No one wants to work with you. It doesn't even matter if you're a broker or not, right? But you don't really have to follow the traditional guidelines.
What is the catch? What else do they offer?
That's a lot of courage to say, hey, I want to leave now.
You gotta be really good. You gotta be available. You gotta have, it was basically a Motel 6 and they converted it into a leasing office.
That's inspiring, especially for somebody that's looking to do something similar to what you're doing. Where you at now, Duke?
So Cheetah is where I hang my license. Apparently, you don't have to be a broker to own a team, right? I actually met the owner. He's actually really young too. He's like in his late 20s.
Wow.
Yeah. So I hang my license with them, and then we open SAC Real Estate under them. So and I just operate through SAC Real Estate.
Wait, so you don't have your broker license?
No, I didn't even take my license. Like I skipped the day where I was supposed to take my license.
That's how their platform works. Cheetah just makes you kind of own your team, utilize DBA under them or what? Doing business under them or
Yeah,
what?
exactly. So it'll be DBA under them. So not everyone actually owns, like an actual broker. You don't really need that to actually own a team. I don't recommend that as well too. First of all, you got to file a lot of paperwork. Something happens along with your team. Your my license will be held liable in this situation. Not to put Cheetah out there, but if something does happen, hopefully it doesn't, right? Cross my hands, cross.
I think there's a wooden table somewhere you can knock on.
Yeah, I know. Knock on wood. Yes. Hopefully nothing happens. I wouldn't be held liable, right? I mean, it'll go to Cheetah, and I'm not saying that I'm gonna disregard that, but I'll try to help out as much as I can. But I'm not gonna be held liable. So that's the benefit of not being a broker. The whole public thinks that, oh, if you're a broker, you make the most money, you all these things, right? But then even if you're a broker, if you have no one likes you, no one wants to work with you, it doesn't even matter if you're a broker or not, right? And it doesn't matter how much money you make if you don't have a team, you're not making any money from overrides and whatever that stuff is.
So Cheetah allows you to have your own almost firm without having to have all the liability of all your people. It's basically your team's responsibility too to make sure that they're in compliant and things like that. Correct?
Correct. Yes, that is correct. That is exactly what it is.
Now, how would it work when it comes to, like, let's say your team wants to, let's say, start a team under you? How would that work if you're under umbrella?
I operate just like a broker. So I control the commission, or I control the 100% of the commission. Let's say one of my guys wants to build his own brand, right? So I give him the opportunity to do that. So, we help them come up with a commission structure that works for him or her and with the team members. They don't have to operate under SAC Real Estate anymore. They could just use whatever blank real estate they have, and they can still operate as their own team, just like how we operate as our own team. So we do give the opportunity to our guys if they do end up wanting to do that as well.
Basically, you're under the umbrella and under pretty much the protection of Cheetah, right? And then if another team member says, hey, I've plateaued as an agent this way and everything, I really want to be a leader, and they start their own, it doesn't have to be SAC Realty. They can brand it on their own. Not only are they able to brand it on their own, they can actually use Side or whatever other platform. They don't have to use Cheetah.
Correct. That is.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of leeway.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things you can do, and you don't really have to follow the traditional guidelines. There's a lot of things that they created now that we could just kind of like just leverage off of.
So what's the catch? Because this sounds really good for somebody that wants to start a broker but don't want to commit to, like what you said, all the commitments of a broker. What is the catch for Cheetah? Because it doesn't seem like they're getting much.
We pay a yearly fee, and that's it. That's the catch.
What else do they offer besides like you being you getting autonomy?
So the owner is actually really flexible too. He actually came down to our office to check us out because he wanted to help us brand as well. So he also provided us with coachings as well as leadership skills. If we need help recruiting, for instance, he'll help us with that as well. If we need help doing certain things, he actually helped us. He was actually the one who filed my fictitious business name for me. So he actually do a lot of stuff for us. I'm really grateful for this guy. It's funny how I met him too. It was just through an email. He sent me an email, and I just said, okay, let's talk. And from there on out, we just kind of like went on.
It takes a lot of courage to be from where you first started in real estate, which I really want to understand how that transition made and what made you feel like, hey, I'm ready to take the next step and everything. Because that's a lot of courage to say, hey, I want to lead now. I feel like I want to give back in a way, because as a leader, a lot of times your time is going to be spent helping your team and lessening your production. That's a huge, I would say, sacrifice. So, what made you make that connection and that moment?
It's interesting. It was actually a book. This was before I was even licensed. I read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book from Gary Keller. That book inspired me, right? So I was so inspired by the fact that you don't need to actually do real estate that much. You could just be a team lead and all that stuff, right? And I read that book, and it opened my eyes. And the very first year, I already had a team. My very first year, I built a team already, but then I was never consistent, right? I was never able to coach them well. It was just more like, here you go, go do this, right? But so every single year I would have a team, but then I was never available for them, right? I was one of those stupid team leaders, that recruit people, but then I'm never available, right? So I was one of those leaders, and I was lacking that leadership skills, and I took a whole year off, and I was just like self-reflecting upon, like, how could I make myself better? How could I do things? How can I make my life a lot more easier? And that's when it just snapped. Like, what, I should, in order to be a good, like a better leader, to actually own like a team, you gotta be really good. You gotta be available. You gotta have like knowledge. You gotta have like pretty much all around, right? So I trained myself to do that, and I listened to this coach. I was being coached by other people too during that time. I had many mentors, and it was 2021 where I was like, what, I'm gonna make this team a legit team. And the first person that came into that team was my high school buddy. We used to play badminton together, and he came in and he was like, hey, I wanna do this. So I helped him out, and then from there on out, people started joining, and then it just kind of led on. At first, it was just me and him, and the other people wanted to join. They wanted to learn a few things from me. They saw my social media, and they just talked to me, whatever. Some of them brought more people. We started seeing more people coming in, and after I got like about 3 agents, I opened my own office. It was a really crazy office. It looked more like a Motel 6. For those who never been there, it was a really crazy place, right? Too bad I don't have any pictures to show, but it was basically a Motel 6, and they converted it into a leasing office. So it was a really small. It was 300 square foot. It was me and 3 other people, and we were just doing it there. And then the team got bigger. We got 6 agents now. So I'm like, this place is way too small. Like, I'm over here at the corner talking, and as I'm talking, you can hear me talking, right? And the moment you walk, you could hear a person walk. So you were like, let's get a bigger place, and something more legit, something more that we're not really ashamed of having people over. So we got this new office that I have now, and it's like a 1,400 square feet office with the 2 rooms. And from there on out, our office got a lot more better, and we became a little bit more, more professional. Not a Motel 6 anymore.
Hey man, think big, start small, right? So at least you're doing it, That's inspiring, especially for somebody that's looking to do something similar to what you're doing.
Yeah. Actually, being a team lead isn't like. I wouldn't say it's not hard. It is hard because you do have to have a lot of skill set, right? People gotta be able to rely on you, and if people call you, you gotta pick up. Like, you can't just leave your agents behind. You can't just be like, oh, hey, I'll call you whenever I can. It's like, hey, these guys need answers now. And if they can't get answers from you, then like, why are you even there for them, right? So it does take a lot of your time. But for me, I enjoy having a team. It makes real estate a lot more fun. I don't have to go out there and just grind by myself, and it's boring, right? Now I have a team. And the team is built upon all of our the culture it's really amazing. We're a bunch of Gen Zs and millennials, and we just talk a lot of crap at the office. It just feels like we're just hanging out most of the time. Of course, we're working a lot too, but most of the time it's just hanging out. And I think that environment is really it's really helpful because it makes people want to be at the office. Like, I don't like it when realtors come to the office and they're like really like stiff. You know, I feel like if you're very stiff, I feel like you're hiding something. You know, you're not telling me something. And if a person who's really stiff, I can't really trust that person. You know, I can't just give you all my skill set, because if I can't trust you, how can I give you everything, right? So with my team, you know, when they come in, we vibe right away. Like we